Hey everybody, I'm Zee Garcia, and today I'm taking a look at an abstract game called Katarenga. In this simple abstract game, the players are going to be attempting to capture their opponent's pieces, but ultimately move two of their pieces off of the board on the opponent's side in order to win the whole thing. The way your pieces move, however, is dictated not by the piece itself, but where it is on the board. This is very much inspired by chess, so you could consider this a chess variant. Let me show you how it works. We'll come on back after that, and I'll tell you what I think of it. To set up the game, the players are going to randomly build the board from these four pieces, these four quadrants here, which are double-sided. So you'll shuffle these up, flip them over as you're doing that, and then build the board by doing this. And then you're ready to begin. You're going to draw lots to see which player is which color, so you'll randomly do that. So let's say my opponent's black, I got the white pieces, and then the player who's playing the black pieces is going to pick which side of the board they'd like to start on. They can pick any of these four sides to start on, and that's where all of their pieces are going to go, okay? So, for example, let's say my opponent is going to start on the side that's facing them. And they would place all of their pieces on that line opposing me, and I would place all of my pieces on my line opposing them. And the objective of the game is for me to get two pieces of my color off of the board on their side. What I mean by that is I have to get two pieces all the way across to their back line. So for example, I have to get a piece here, and then I'll take an extra turn, an extra action to move it completely off, place it in a corner. If I do that twice, I win the whole thing. If they do it to me first, then they win. And that's basically it. The pieces, now again, the white player would start in this case, and the pieces are going to move according to the spot that they're standing on. And a lot of these are basically just chess style moves. Okay, so for example, if I'm standing on one of the blue spots, my piece would move like a king in chess, meaning one single spot in any direction. And then I'm done. If I'm standing on one of these, well, as you can see, it's a little horse head, so I'm going to move like a knight in chess. So I would move in an L shape, so 1 and 2, like so. Or I could move 2 and 1 like so in whichever direction I want to, all right? If I'm standing on one of these, I am going to move in a straight line diagonally. And the limitation here being that I can move as far as I want to unless I hit another spot of that kind, at which point I have to stop. So for example, if I'm standing there, I can go here, I can go there, I can go here, or I can come this way to there, or there, but I cannot move past this spot because it's the same kind as the one I started on. And then these, on the red ones, same idea. You move on the squares, in a straight line, but again, you cannot go past another one of its kind in a single play, in a single go. And so I would start. So let's say I'm going to do, I'm going to move to there from here, okay? And then my opponent could take a turn and they'll jump all the way to there. I'm not playing well, but I am playing. And then I could take that piece with this one. Moving in an L, I could take that, remove it from the board. Again, basically chess rules to move pieces off of the board. It would be my opponent's play, and they would do, let's say they'll do that and take this one. All the way from that corner. They can do that because none of the other pieces are of that kind along the way. So they could do that. And then it's back to me, and I might do this. Then my opponent might do that, trying to get in my back, off of the board. But they have to stop here and take an additional play to come off the side and go to the corner. And I could stop them before they do that because I could do this. And this continues back and forth. Though the game is very quick, this is just going to, you're going to, take off a few pieces off of the board until you're able to finally pull off a move where you can pull two pieces off of the board. Let's just help them out here. Let's say my opponent gets a piece there. And it is my turn, let's say. I have no way to stop it. This one cannot get far enough, nor can this one. This one can only go to there. these are stuck behind, so on my opponent's next play, they could do that. Do it twice, they win the whole thing. Very simple, very straightforward. You've got it now. So let's go back up top, and let me tell you if I think this is a fun abstract game, and if it's a good variant to chess. Would it appeal to the same people? Let's find out. This is a wonderful abstract game that I very much have enjoyed. Now, I'm not a big fan of chess necessarily. I certainly can respect and appreciate the game, but it's not one that I am necessarily fascinated by. I haven't played in many, many years. But I like this because it's not really like chess in many ways. It just takes those moves and makes a different game around them, really. I'll talk about that more in just a little bit. Let's talk about our target audience system here, where the first point is thematic ties. This game has no theme, so I'm leaving this one blank and moving on. 2 aesthetics, which is artwork and components, and they are wonderful in this game. The box is very stark and attractive. The board looks very nice. I don't like that it's a puzzle board, 2 pieces that you puzzle together, and then you put those 4 quadrants on top of it, but that's okay. And then the wooden pawns are nice and chunky and feel good to play with, so they are also unexpectedly nice. I like those. They're well made. The replayability is neat. There's a lot of discovery here, and the first time you play, you'll immediately feel that sense of wonder, like, I'm curious about plumbing the depths here. How much is there to discover here? And thankfully, I think quite a bit. This game is tactically rich and interesting, so I think you will keep coming back to it, especially considering how short the game is. We'll come to that in just 1 second. Right now, in fact, game length and downtime. I found this game this is one of the things that for me destroys chess, in my opinion, because I find chess to be a little too long and deep and, brain burning. And this game, while it's engaging and mentally didactic, right, it's not as punishing for me. And I find the gameplay to be very approachable. It's about 15 minutes or so, it seems to be, and you're always thinking, but it isn't, again, this sort of heavy weight keeping you down, worrying about making a big mistake. You will make mistakes, especially while you're learning, but it's so fast you could always just set up and play again, and I like that very much in it. So the game length, spot on for me. And downtime, not too much unless you've got an opponent that really likes to sit there and think a lot, but again, that kind of comes with the territory for abstract strategy games. Ease of play. If there's any fiddliness, any iconography or design issues or anything like that, not at all. I find the iconography on the board that represents the types of movements to be very nice. You do have to know chess. You don't have to know chess, but if you know chess, some of the moves are going to be easier to explain. Some of them are obvious from the iconography on the tile itself, So if you're moving, diagonally or orthogonally, that's apparent just from looking at the square you're sitting on. If it's a horse's head, you don't know what that means unless you know chess already. So you'd have to explain that. But again, I think the iconography is clear. The colors are there and the icons are simple, so it's very, it's apparent what's going on as soon as you know how to play, and really teaching is very, very quick, especially, again, if you know chess. So thumbs up here. And then lastly, tactics and strategy, and if there's any randomness or luck. The part that there's a little bit of randomness, obviously, with the board setup, but once it's set, that's it. And I do like the idea of picking lots, and then one player gets to play second, but they pick where they start on the board. That works for me. I like it. It's simple, but seems to balance out what's happening. And you could always, again, switch and play again, I guess. And then the tactics are fun. It's engaging. It's neat to see a position that you find yourself in and you cannot spot a way out, but maybe you do have a way out. Maybe you do have a way to stop your opponent. Maybe you can change the dynamic of what's going on and make a comeback. I like it, but the pressure is always on. Get 2 of those pieces off the board and you win, and I like that because the tension seems to be high right from the beginning, and I like that very much. All of your pieces are a threat to your opponent, just like all of theirs are a threat to you, right? So the tactics are enjoyable. they get right to it, you know, and they're ever present. I enjoy that very much. So the game works for me. I really like it. Having said all that, the game is ultimately, I mean, you will eventually tire of it. There is not that many different setups, you know, but I'm enjoying exploring it, and I think it's a good game for people that are not necessarily fanatics of chess, because I do think that those folks are going to find this one a little too simplistic, perhaps. I think they'll tire of it a little faster than people like myself who enjoy abstracts, but would not consider ourselves great at them or anything even remotely close to that. I just enjoy the way they make my brain feel and the possibilities laid out in front of me, but I'm not necessarily good at them. I think that's good for those kinds of people. So if you're someone who's really into chess and the overview doesn't really speak to you, then perhaps you can pass this one by. But I liked it, and I bet a lot of people out there who enjoy abstracts would like it as well. So this one's gonna get a seal of approval from me. Very much enjoy it. Check it out if you like this style of game, and I'm gonna see you next time.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.